So, Coach, you got to participate in the development camp, the rookie face-off, everything essentially from July on with the Avalanche. Who was the biggest? Well, actually, who was the player that probably stood out the most?
Well, I mean, when you look back at development camp in July, it's in the the middle of their off ice training, so you're really not trying to evaluate too much on where they are in terms of their production on ice. You try to give them a bunch of information about the Avalanche organization, about what we stress and teach on the ice, and then when most of those guys come back for the rookie camp and the rookie tournament, is kind of when you get your first real viewing of them, in live competition and how they can create some chemistry and their tendencies in certain situations. And then for those that move on to main camp, they can see how they can process the game at a higher level and a higher speed, and can they keep up the pace, and where's their deficiency. And so it's more of a long-term evaluation. But I think, a lot of people would agree that, Prishikov is, kind of elevated himself into a position where, he got some games at rookie camp and had a strong performance there, and then took the next step at Avs camp and got some exhibition games, and now he's joining us at camp. And can he sustain his game to play at the pro level? So he's one of the guys that, I think everyone's kind of got their eyes on, and obviously Sean Barons is in that conversation as well. He's, left, DU, great program, championship pedigree. He's getting some games and some looks up top right now. And, we got a small sample size at the end of last season with him. And now he's going to step into his first year pro hockey, and we want to see, where his game is and where it can get to.
Now, you had a extremely high turnover this year with the Eagles. How are you going to approach that? I know it's going to be a little bit of a different approach this year than you did have last year, since you had kind of a same roster coming into last year.
I don't think any different, to be honest. Each year's new. I evaluated myself last year, things I felt I need to work on and get better at, and and the great thing about this is the returning players we have all have a great understanding of what goes on down here or up here in northern Colorado. And then for the returning players, or some of our new signings, like 4 of them are returning, so they can have a great understanding. It's of what we do and what's expected and how we need to play, and all of these guys, when we get to our camp, it's more review and fine-tuning, because they've already got the teaching up with the Avalanche. They've already been in some game action. So when they come here, we get to go to work right away. We try to look at some line combinations, create some chemistry, put guys in certain situations. I think that we feel that they're going to have success for us and for our team, but also it's going to put them in a position to be successful and have an easier transition if there's an opportunity to get called up.
And you just mentioned it, actually, that you've got 4 returnees coming in McDonald, Rosen, and Vagna, and Tynan. And you were obviously in a different role, but not much of one. Are you going to have them be more of a leadership role in this case, since they already know the system and they're familiar with your role and everything like that?
Well, first, I mean, it's we're in a position where I know who they are as people and players, and vice versa. They know me as a person and as an assistant coach, but now I'm a head coach. We've had conversations. 3 of them have been in a leadership role in previous years, and been in leadership roles on their teams that they went to when they left the Eagles the first time. So there's no question. They're all veteran hockey players. They're all vets in the American League. They all have NHL experience. They're going to play a huge part in our leadership group, on the ice, in the locker room, communication with the coaching staff. They've got a big role, and all of them are accepting of it.
One thing I noticed while I was sitting up there and watching you guys today was that it just appears the team is, in general, faster. Would you say the same thing?
I'm pleased today was a much better pace and execution than it was Monday. Monday was our first day skating at the rink. It hadn't been skated on. Ice was a little soft, and it got difficult to practice on early. So the ice held up a little better today, which I think the players enjoyed. It allowed them to continue to push the pace and execute out there, which is great. But that's something that we felt we wanted to address this year, and I think Kevin McDonald, Chris McFarland addressed it in a great way this year. Our team upgraded in a lot of departments, and speed is one of them.
And then, of course, you've been joined by Dan Heinold as the new associate coach, with your old coach going and being a new head coach in Springfield, who you're not going to end up playing, which is a bummer since you're not going to be able to go head to head. But how is Dan kind of slotted into that role?
Oh, he's real comfortable. Like he's a great addition to our staff. We lost a great, coach in Steve Konowalchuk, and we wish him all the best in his new head coach role. But Dan's come in. He's established himself about how he wants to work with our forward group, what he wants to do on the power play. He's got a great energy to him every single day, and he provides a lot of experience for these players, not only as a player, but as a coach coming from the NHL. So he's going to be a huge asset for us.
I think that's all I got for you today, Coach.
All right, great. Thanks.